Okay, now for the second car I'll be working on this channel. It is a 2003 Lexus SC430. It's actually not mine. It belongs to my aunt. Apparently, a few weeks back, she decided to do the van life thing, so she left the car with me so that I can make sure it runs, so that it doesn't sit in her garage for a year and suddenly not start. It's actually partially because I have this car that I decided to make this channel, because if I have something to work on with my Elantra or this one, I can just use the other instead of being stranded where I am, which helps out a bit. So, take a look at the car. From a distance it looks okay. Paint could use a bit of work. Right now the tires are pretty solid, so I think I should be good for a while on that. You can actually see here though, that is a clear thing that needs to be fixed. Okay, so really gotta work on the paint. Again, like with my Elantra, I'll treat paint as that final trophy. I'll get it when I get everything else. And I still have to figure out what that is. I think it's like paint or something. I'll have to get it scraped off. All in all, compared to my Elantra though, this car looks better. There's a lot less going on with it. The only thing that's really out of the ordinary is it's kind of hard to see, but there's a crack in the screen that looks like a text bubble, so I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Also, the car's a convertible, so here's a good look at what it looks like with the top down. Now for a look at the interior. So here's the steering wheel. I guess the leather, faux leather, whatever you call it, is a little dried out, so that's something to work on. Just like my Elantra, it has a cassette, but also has CD, and this one actually lets the adapter in so I can plug my iPod into it. Makes things so much easier. So the dash and the like are pretty clean. So far, the worst of it I have to deal with is probably seats. Because as you guys can see, there's a giant rip here, and the seats are kind of dried out. There's also a rip on this seat, the driver's seat, but Mott just put a cover on it, so I'll deal with that later. Also, here's the back seat. It looks okay, just really dusty. And then one other thing that I'm working on with the Lexus right now as it is a few lights. At the time I'm starting the channel, I just wrapped up some other junk with my car, so the lights are off. But as you can see right now, there's the tire pressure light that's been on since pretty much since Mom gave it to me. I think she even filled it up the night she left it with me, so it's kind of weird. But now I gotta move the car a little bit so it can pull up those lights. The VSCs, I'm still trying to figure out what that has to do with anything, like actually what it is. But I'll have to figure that one out. And apparently when both lights are on, it means something different. I consulted the owner's manual, but it just says, hey, take it to a dealership. And since it also says take it to a dealership if you want to get your tail lights fixed, which I did. Well, I didn't take it to a dealership, but I changed the tail lights myself. I'm like, yeah, I'll just figure this one out on my own. So I figure I can in a few of my earlier videos, I'll probably just focus on getting rid of those and then also dealing with the rest of the car. Mainly it'll be cosmetic, I'd say. Since the car isn't mine, I'm hesitant to do any kind of crazy major stuff to it without my aunt say so. I got her okay for bringing it onto the channel, but like, I still want to be nice. I don't want to have her come back and suddenly this car has twice the horsepower and she runs into a wall. So that's where we stand with that. So that was the Lexus SC430. Like I said, not really my car, so although I do kind of want to do some stuff to it to give it a little more legs and also really help with the fuel economy, because it's a V8, it downs gas so much, so I'm thinking of staging an intervention for it. But I think the main thing I'm going to do is cosmetic. Clean up the car, you know, get really good at detailing it, fix a few little weird things here and there, deal with those lights on the dashboard, and then ultimately, yeah, I'll see what I can do with it that might be fun. I figured this one's a little closer to the kind of car I want to buy after this in terms of, you know, power, performance, size, and things like that. So I think I can get used to this one while it's still in my care. So we'll see what comes with that. Stay tuned.